Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how I did my first set of Halloween nails. I know that some of you guys have seen them in my latest videos and have been asking about them, so here they are. I did them super extra long this time and I am honestly loving them. I think this is my best set yet, and I know I say that every single time, but I really mean it this time. So I'm just going to get right into it. And of course I will link and list everything that I'm using in this video down below. I always do this on nail videos, and somehow I'll still get questions asking me like what nail drill I'm using, so it's always linked or listed in the description. So I had already taken my past set of nails off, and honestly there was a tiny bit of acrylic left on them just because I could not get it off and I was over it. But that does mean that they have been filed and there is no shiny top layer. So first I'm going to start off with my dehydrator as usual and just put that over every single nail. And today I am changing it up and I'm going to be using forms. You guys know I usually use tips, but I wanted them to be really long for Halloween, and so I'm going to be using forms today. Because I like a really tight C curve, I try to make sure that I really bend my forms really tightly so that the space on top is almost as small as it can be. You want to make sure that you are placing your form right under your natural nail and having it go straight out, because if you do not put forms on correctly, the nail will most likely break because it will have the wrong stress points and everything like that. So it is super important that you place these correctly. For monomer, I'm going to be using the Vanessa's Nails monomer, and I'm going to be using a lot of her brand today. This monomer doesn't smell nearly as bad as some of the others, so I really like this one. I will also be using the clear acrylic, black acrylic, green acrylic, and these next ones are actually really cool because they do glow in the dark. How cool is that? I'm gonna have to do a whole set of just like pure glow nails at some point. Right before I start, I put on my primer, and this is the No Lift Nails primer, and it is my absolute favorite ones. My nails literally do not lift ever. And at the last second, I decided I wanted to add some glitter into this. So first and foremost, I like to put down just a clear layer, not a thick one, just enough to get the acrylic on my nail without worrying about the color. And my acrylic ratios are still definitely, but I am definitely getting better, and there's no way you're gonna get better without practice, so that's what I am doing. This base layer that's going on your natural nail is the most important part in my opinion, because if you get any on your cuticle, your nail is going to lift very quickly. And so I always really try to do my best here by making sure that it does not go anywhere but my real nail. Once I have just a thin layer on my natural nail, I'm putting just a really thin layer on the form just to sort of have everything stick together right off the bat. So now this is where it gets fun. I'm picking up some of this purple, and I wasn't 100% sure where I was going with this when I first started, but I just knew I wanted them to be sort of like mystical and maybe like, you know, I don't know, forest-like or like space-like, something like that. So I start by just kind of placing it almost randomly, but wanting it to kind of just go up the nail. Then I'm going to be picking up some of that green and doing sort of just the same thing, almost half and half, almost marbled. I don't know, just, you know, go with what feels right. And then I decided to add black because it was looking way too Barney the dinosaur for me, and I wanted it to be Halloween. So I put black down the middle, and I am really loving how color is looking with acrylic. I always thought I could do like the same sort of thing with gel polish, but I'm definitely gonna have to do like this sort of stuff with acrylic more. And then because the glitter is a lot more iridescent than anything, I thought it would look really good over the black, and I was totally right. This gold, I think it's gold pixie acrylic powder, I feel like is a lot more iridescent rather than gold, which is totally fine with me. But the way this nail ended up looking sort of like a geode, where it's just kind of like cracked in the middle and showing all of the cool like crystals inside. When I thought of mystical, I sort of thought, I don't know, maybe like stars. So I got these little itty bitty stars, and I'm just securing them with a tiny little beads of acrylic and just adding a few within the nail. And then from there, I am just going to clear cap it. You want to really try to make this as smooth as you possibly can because it will help you a ton when it comes to filing. The smoother you can get the top and the sides and just, you know, the cleaner you can form the nail, the easier it's going to be to file. Because I did every nail differently, I am going to go through each nail, but I do start out for the most part doing just this clear layer in the beginning, so I'm going to skip that part for the next nails because I don't want to be redundant, but that is what I am doing on this nail right now. Next, I'm going in with that green, and that looks so cool in the dark. And if you notice here, I'm really making it a point to clean up the sides because I really like my nails to look thin and pinched. And then I decided I wanted to make this into an ombre, so I'm taking the black that I got way too much of. That was, oops. And I'm just going to pull that up the nail. And then I'm just putting some glitter on top of that black once again, but making it an ombre along with the black this time. And then I have these really cute moon charms, which inspired me to do this set in the first place. And I'm going to be encapsulating just like one of those in this nail along with some of the stars. And now I finally realized you guys probably want to see what I'm doing. I don't always film this up close because I have a hard time keeping my hand in frame, because when I would do nails, I really want to keep my hand like an inch away from my face so I can see, but when I'm filming I have to keep it really far. So having like a wider angle helps me stay in frame. This next nail is going to be just solid purple. I'm not ombreing it or putting any glitter over top, and instead I'm going to do my own sort of little design. I have these little bead things, and so I decided that I wanted to make a moon out of them in my nail, and I am just using acrylic for this. I'm just sort of pushing them in. I did have to apply a tiny bit more in the middle of it to get them to stick, but other than that they went on just fine, and I'm using a wax pencil to get them on there, and if you don't have a wax pencil and you use rhinestones a lot, you need to get one ASAP. And then I added some of that glitter acrylic inside of the moon, and then of course I also added some stars. And then just clear capping it. For my ring finger, I wanted to marble the green and black, and I did this by just dipping into the green first and then the black. You wouldn't want to do that the other way around, that way you don't get any black and any light colors. And I try not to move it too much whenever I put it on my nail. That way I don't really mix them and they sort of still have their distinct individual colors. And then I wanted to place some glitter down the middle, sort of in a squiggly fashion, and then I just clear capped that as well. And I'm almost doing the same thing here, except I am doing a almost purple marble as well, with a glitter ombre coming down, and then of course just putting some clear on top. And then once you are sure the nails are 100% dry, you can take off the forms. I just take off the little part that's on my skin and then pinch them off and pull them. Not really much more to that, except it feels like really satisfying to do it. And here are my nails with no filing, just acrylic. And now I'm going to file them. I'm going to be using regular files as well as my electric file. I'm going to start out by just basically taking off any really lumpy part and unevenness on the nails, as well as filing the sides a tiny bit to make sure that I catch any sort of like drippage that can happen with the forms. Sometimes if you have too wet of a bead, it'll kind of just like slide down the side, and even if you try to clean it up, you might miss it. And then I'm just smoothing the nail out and trying to make sure that I have that apex there. I don't always like to show like my filing process because I already know people are going to have problems with it, but I feel like I've gotten a lot better and my nail shape has gotten way better. So here is the nail just filed. Really smooth, really happy with how it turned out. And here they are all filed. I'm happy with the shape. I only got myself like once, so you know, we're good there. Next, it's time for rhinestones. So I'm taking my normal nail like super glue and I'm going back in with those really cute moon charms, and in that little set came some rhinestones too, so I figured I might as well use them, as well as I pulled out some of my normal rhinestones. I like to place my rhinestones really almost sporadically. I don't like two nails to be the same, although on this set they are really similar. I'm putting these rhinestones down on my cuticle area right here because that's a really good way to hide the cuticle area if you're not like 100% happy with it. So always keep that in mind. Rhinestones solve everything. I always get a lot of questions about this nail glue that I use, and this nail glue that I use is so insanely strong that I almost never have a rhinestone come off. Even on these like giant ones that I put on, I can like snag it on something or like whack it and it's on. It's not coming off. I also decided to add these really pretty blue-black rhinestones because I thought it sort of fit in with the theme, and I didn't want too many of the light colored rhinestones only because I felt like that kind of didn't work since I had so much black in there. And here they are completely done with the rhinestones. Now all we need to do is add a top coat. I'm going to be using this one from Madame Glam, and I am just putting the top coat around the rhinestones. You can really do whatever you want if you want to put the top coat down and then rhinestones, or rhinestones and then top coat. Really whatever you prefer. Today I just decided that I was going to put rhinestones down first. With this top coat you do need an LED lamp to cure it. Honestly, the best part is seeing the top coat go on and seeing like the glitter and everything else come through. But anyway, here are the finished nails. I'm really happy with how they turned out. Really shiny, and I really love the shape and length. I've been missing really long nails. I feel like the other ones were kind of just a little too short for me, so these are perfect. And I know that you're probably wondering, you're like, Emily, what about the other hand? Emily, why is there still so much longer left in this video? Well, let's talk about my other hand. So here it is right now. It looks pretty similar to the other one, except this is more like orange and like a green, but it's not the same type of green. So what had happened was I decided I was going to try to do a different sort of set of nails on my other hand, and I ended up not liking them, so I sort of made those nails into a matching set. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the acrylic process with you and then tell you how I did those, and also show you the ones that I ended up not liking. So here we go. With this side, I decided I didn't want to do a clear layer and I just wanted to go straight in with the black, and I was going to do a couple full black nails. And so working with that was a little bit scary because I felt like it was a little bit harder to handle than say like the clear or the other ones. I don't know. Sometimes different acrylic powders and colors just have a little bit of a different consistency that you kind of have to learn and get used to. So here's me struggling with the black acrylic. And then what I originally wanted to do was use this mold because it is an acrylic mold and it makes these cute little like bats and stars and ghosts, and I wanted to encapsulate them at first, but then they were a little thick, so I didn't think I could. And then I was like, well, maybe I'll just kind of put them on top because that sounds like a great idea. So here's me popping out these, and you'll see. And then from there I basically just did solid color acrylic nails, either black or orange, and I just marbled one. Nothing you basically didn't see on the other side except with different colors. However, this orange does glow in the dark as well. Also, this was my right hand, and I am right-handed. A lot of you ask me how I do my other hand, and honestly, my other hand is never as good as my left hand, just because the right hand is dominant, but I try to make it work. As you can see, these ones are a lot messier and I have way more to clean up on this side. However, I have gotten much better with my opposite hand, and it feels a lot more natural now, opposed to when I first started. I feel like I couldn't even hold a brush in it, and now it's just not as good. It's not like I can't do it. But you know, if things like that happens, that's what the electric file is for. It'll clean it up in no time. And here is how that set of nails turned out. I just wasn't feeling these ones. Not that they were awful, I don't know, it wasn't my vibe. So then I decided to change them, and here's how I did it. So I put this green pigment over the black since there wasn't any solid black on the other side. And then these are gold hollow flakies, but I just put these how I put the glitter acrylic on the other side, and then I put this glitter gel on top a little bit just to kind of make it match a little bit more. And then I just rhinestoned accordingly, and I have myself a cohesive matching set of nails. So because I do have a lot of black going on in here, the nails don't glow like entirely, but I will show you what they look like in the dark. The purple needed a lot more light than I could give it, but here it is coming out of my LED lamp. It looks way cooler here if you have a lot of time to let it soak up some light. I hope you guys liked this video. I really tried to be a lot more thorough than I usually am, because some of you were telling me I go too fast. So I really hope this was helpful. If you did like this video and you want more nail tutorials or Halloween nail tutorials, or this helped you, please give this video a like. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you next time. Bye!